Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. So today I'm just going to show real quick this simple goat feeder that I made. All you need is two things, just some scrap piece of the standard 50-inch cattle panel, and then one 55-gallon plastic drum. You could probably use steel if you really wanted to, but I imagine you'd probably wind up with issues with your goats cutting themselves if you did that. Plastic's going to be a little less sharp. Anyway, getting to the point, I feed mostly Bermuda grass as a hay. I throw in a little alfalfa here and there. I just buy like one alfalfa bale to every two Bermuda bales and give probably about, I guess, half alfalfa. I'll give like 2 days of Bermuda and then 1 day of alfalfa. I only have female goats. I don't have any male goats here, so I don't run into the bloating and getting sick and dying issue with the female goats as much. So anyway, it's very simple. I'm just going to show you real quick how it works as I put the hay in while I'm feeding my goats this morning. So it's real simple. I just flip the cattle panel up each morning, throw out the crap that winds up in here, including our little stink bug friend here. So originally what I did was I cut this barrel in half and I put it in here and I just screwed it in with one screw to the wall of the barn. I thought that was good enough, but immediately the goats started jumping in it and pushing the hay out onto the ground here, onto the straw, and they wouldn't eat it anymore. They would also, you know, drop manure in there while they're laying in there. So they would pretty much just ruin their hay every day and waste it. So I thought, well, I've got to do something else. And I'm sure that I didn't come up with this 100% on my own. I'm sure just over the course of the last few months of having goats, I've probably seen something like it somewhere. But I just decided, like, I'm gonna put a piece of cattle panel in there to keep them from laying down in it, and it's 100% worked. They haven't laid down in it since I put this thing in. And also, I just feel like they waste less hay than they did before. Like, there's hardly any hay on the ground around it. We do have a big fly problem, but anyway, there's hardly any hay around the feeder here. I think it's for the most part keeping waste hay down as well. So when I'm feeding them, I just flip that thing up and put it in. And then flip it down, and they can stick their heads in here easily, grab the hay and eat. And they pretty much eat it up every day. So it works really well. So I'm going to bring you in a little bit closer just to show you how I made it. This is a standard piece of cattle panel scrap that I had from building their goat pen. And what I did was I just cut off the space at the bottom. So at the very bottom of the cattle panel, there's a section of like probably 4-inch spaced wire mesh, and they're not going to be able to get their heads through that. So I cut off, you're going to have to cut something off, so that's what I cut off. And so then when I did that, I also just left the rod sticking out a little bit long on both sides of the rod on the end here after cutting that off, so that it could run through the barrel like this. You can see, like, you can't pull it off, and obviously it wasn't made that way. All I did was I just had to push and stretch basically the barrel over the rod, and now it's in between, so the goats really can't pull it out. And I maybe wouldn't have minded like a section and a half longer, but I just literally used a scrap that I didn't have to do anything to, but, you know, trim it a little bit instead of wasting, you know, several feet of a good full-length piece of cattle panel or whatever. So, like I said, they can get their heads in there nice and easy and eat. They don't lay in there anymore. I haven't, you know, I find maybe a couple little pieces of manure in there probably almost every day. How they get it in there, I don't understand. But, yeah, overall, like, it seems to work pretty good for what it is. And so I think if you're going to go the 55-gallon barrel cut in half as a hay feeder for goats, if you're going to go with that, then you definitely need to run the cattle panel in it to keep them from laying down in it and whatnot. And so far, it seems to be working really well. Thing was free for me, super cheap. Goat feeders can get really expensive. Livestock hay feeders can get real expensive. This, you know, free 99 right here. So thanks everybody for watching. If you could give the video a thumbs up, I'd really appreciate it. If you decide to build one and try it out yourself, come back, leave a comment, let me know how it worked for you, and we'll see you in the next video.